So let's talk about a courtroom. And the fact of the matter is that a courtroom simply provides the protection for the powerful against the poor. That's what they do. That's 98% of what they do. And rarely do they have an opportunity to do more or less for life than what they do. Because there are people who are court minders. They watch over the judiciary to ensure that they don't get out of line. And so it's like everything else in this society or this life. Power wants power, and power does everything it can to get power. And of course, power is a definition of hate. And of course, you can't have hate without the righteous, because the righteous make the rules, and the rules are what governments live by. If they want to take control over you, they make a rule. Therefore, they have the right to make a rule, to take your life or your property, whatever it is, because they made a rule. So our job as a democracy is to remove the rules and provide for ourselves a basis and a foundation for how we can protect ourselves from those who would steal from us, and who do steal from us, and hide what they steal, and create traps. The IRS is primarily a trap. The maze that is the 1040 form, tax form, is a trap. They direct you here, they direct you there, they direct you that way, because they're making a trap. They want you to be confused, so you give up and give them the power to say, you are wrong. Even if you are right, doesn't matter. I was going to take the IRS to court years and years ago, and learned that can't get into court unless you agree that you were wrong. Then you can go to court and say I was right. But of course, that just is for fools. That wrong is wrong is wrong, and they control the courtroom. And so the IRS should be completely disbanded, and the collection of taxes should go to bidding for individual businesses in the area in which they collect. Corporations ought to make the tax forms that they fill out. That doesn't mean they get to choose the tax, but they get to choose what is important to them, and then we get to decide if it is in fact important to us. There's 10,000 different things, but a tax form that's 10,000 pages long is not one of the things that are correct or right or anything else. We must have redress. That means we get to decide. That means we are the power. We are the democracy. We, the people, get to choose what is true or false about what you do. We get to enforce that you will obey our contract with you. Enforce it. You didn't obey our agreement with you that this is what government is going to be, our society is going to be. You didn't do that, so we're going to evict you. And to evict the courtroom means we have to grade the judge, we have to grade the lawyer. If they don't work for justice and for the law that we create, then we remove them. They have no life-ending right to stay a judge. There's none of that. They have a right to stay a judge during good behavior only. And so we judge them and remove those who don't comply with our decision as a society to be a democracy. Our decision. It's not yours, it's not theirs. They don't own their law. We own it. It's our law. And of course that means that instead of letting people decide what the law should be for us, we have to actually do the work and make the law ourselves. We have to make the law ourselves, because that way we know the law, and when we know the law, we can enforce the law. And if we make the law so that everybody understands it, then everybody understands it, and we know what justice is or is not. And we can do for ourselves what we must do for ourselves. In other words, No, you can't be so damn lazy. No, you can't be so damn ignorant. No, you can't be so damn foolish as to follow the blind into their pit of endless crisis for this world. We stand on the edge of our own extinction because of greed, because of power, because of pride, and because of your wants, which turns into beliefs. No, that's not a religious statement. Religion is what happens when you die, or how did we arrive on this planet? How did life start? Time makes us all equal. Not a skin or face or species or whatever. Time makes us equal, because time is all we really get. We get time and the freedom to make our own choices, if we want them. But the choice is, of course, you can love, or you can hate. And what is in the middle of that is strictly an animal, which means it's just about want and taking what you want and creating what you don't want, and lying and cheating and all the rest. So it doesn't really count. What is true is true is true. So we grade the court, and we remove those by our own grading system. That means we have to pay attention to what the court is doing, so that we actually make the right decision and support the right things. So there are many police officers out there that is as good as society gets, and but unfortunately they face people with guns and hate and what have you all the time. They are animal herders, because you don't call them when love is enforced. You call them when hate is enforced, and they have to respond to hate is enforced. To not be hate, to be locked up and so on. So they need a Bill of Rights. This is what you can do. We, the people, agree to that. And these are our rights as well. No, you can't do that. So that everybody knows. So that there are no confusion. And there is no lawyer war to gain money. The whole thing is just enormously sad. You have drugs put on TV, and they claim that that they're not responsible because they told you that there are going to be consequences to these drugs. That means they admitted to the fact that they know. They admitted to the fact that they deliberately distributed and caused harm to people, and they are responsible. And they can avoid that by doing it the opposite way. They did, visually, oh, how happy we are, with words that said, you shouldn't be happy. Let them show you the video pictures of, we not happy. This is terrible. And, they can just tell you that, in the words same that, you should be happy, even though you should not. $10,000 different things. So anyway, we have to change the education of who we are. The universities in particular have to be invaded and removed from power. No, they cannot just simply charge you 1,000% more than what they actually give you. They have to take a percentage of what you actually earn because of what they did teach you. If they taught you nothing that helped you, then they don't get paid, just like everybody else. They get a percentage of what you earn for a certain amount of time, because they give you something that you could earn with, as is business, as is truth, as is reality. The constant that is instead is they get to charge you however much they want to, and take however much they want to for a lifetime. And that is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. They don't earn it. They don't deserve it. And they took over government to get it. They did take over government. They did destroy democracy. They are communists and created a cult. Only the leader gets to decide. Only the expert has a say, as is they. So we need to remove them from the courtroom, from everything, and let the evidence, not the expert, decide. Evidence. And the evidence of global warming is, of course, that is absolutely true. No, you cannot just avoid it. No, you cannot excuse yourself from it. No, you cannot just throw the world away because you want to, because it's inconvenient for you. You have to do what life requires you to do. It's not a game. And that means that we have to educate the children in the ways of life, not the ways of university as God, not cult worship, none of it, but what they need to support their life so that they have an opportunity to survive when they get out of school, instead of just herding them into a situation which does them no good at all. It's just keeping them from competing with you. That's what schools are mostly for. And of course, the point of school is to indoctrinate the children into the university as God, so that they accept the debt and the crazed stupidity that is university knows, and fall into place. Believe, fear, obey is the constant of university. Constant of failure. Constant of being foolish and without life. We have to choose what is best for life. We have to choose what is true, because only truth survives. You don't get to argue that you want what you want and you want and you want and you want. You don't get to do what you want. You don't get to say me, 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 or I win, I win, I win, or whatever it is. We are so many people on this planet that we have to do what we have to do. If 8.2 billion people have 1 pound of food a day, food is life. We eat life. If you have 1 pound of food a day, 8.2 billion people times 365 days a year, that's nearly 3 trillion pounds of food. 3 trillion pounds of food. And that doesn't include what you threw away. We are not going to have a world to live in. All the resources are destroyed. All the pollution took away everything we had. The life in the ocean failed because you killed it. Everything. We have to accept the evidence of what is and is not real. We have to replant the trees because they keep the atmosphere attached to this planet. And once it becomes unattached, we can't put it back together again. There's just no way. It becomes like Venus, for instance, which the university says has 700-mile-an-hour winds. You want a 700-mile-an-hour wind? No, you don't. You can't live that way. And you know it. We have to do what we have to do. And in that regard, we have to stop cutting down trees. We have to stop burning them. You have to stop those people. Put smoke detectors, wireless smoke detectors out wherever people might be found lighting a fire because they want to get away, so they have a road. So wherever they light a fire, put a smoke detector out there to warn you in advance. A wireless smoke detector, that will warn you smoke is in the area. Do it. And if it goes off, block every road so that you find out who it is that's lighting these fires. Because you only get a fire when the conditions are the worst. How is that not intentional? You have to have a fire fence. You have to have, machines that can go through a forest in a big hurry. There are those machines out there. Not people who are just, creating jobs for themselves and letting the whole planet burn. You have to use machines just like everywhere else. You have to use a fire fence, a wire fence that you can create and install as I presented to you. You have to do everything that you can because you just don't have a choice. People walk away saying, I'll just go get more. Well, you won't just go get more. All of that is gone. What we have left is what we must have to survive. You have to make a decision not to disrespect this planet, not to disrespect its life, not to disrespect, God or anything else. Choose for life. Choose by the evidence, not by some damn cult that says the university is God, as is what the courts told me. Grow up.